out to get just a few little things that I need to make some freezer meals to prepare for back to school. So I will let you know what I got, and I will show you what I'm making. One thing that I have just recently discovered that is a wonderful time saver and it's very convenient is to order some of your pantry items from Walmart.com, because generally if you spend $35, the shipping is free. A lot of it comes in 2 days, and then you're not having to run to the store, go all over the place grabbing this, that, and the other. You can keep track of what you've got, and whenever you're running low, it's already in your account on Walmart.com, and you can just reorder it. So as you can see, I got one of my boxes. This is going to be shipping in 3 different boxes for some odd reason, just the way they pack things, I suppose. But my pasta, some of it came just now, and so I'll be using that to make some of my make-ahead meals. Well, box 2 and 3 of my Walmart.com order just arrived, so let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, we've got paper towels. So nice that I don't have to lug these through the store, then to the car, then to the house. I just have to take them from the front step inside. Look at all these things that I did not have to go shopping for, except with the click of a button. This is how I will be doing my pantry shopping probably from now on, and all of the cat food and cat litter shopping, because those bags are heavy. We get like the 30-pound bags of those, and I just don't feel like messing with it. I'm not going to have to go to the store, lug it into the cart, go to the checkout, lug it out of the cart, put it in the car, drive it home, and lug it into the house. It'll just be delivered to me. They can do all the heavy lifting and all the finding and send it right to me, and I can just pull it into the house. That would be really great. Well, I thought I would go ahead and show you my pantry so you can see where all of my food ends up when it comes from my shipments. So this is the laundry area that's on one side of my pantry. As you can see, there's my classroom rug that I still need to vacuum to take back. Those are some curtains that I just got this summer to cover my shelving. Then I have some organizational things for my iron and my ironing board and my mops and brooms and things. And that yellow bag is full of things that need to go to my classroom. And those are some new hangers I just got that are felt covered that are supposed to keep clothes from falling off of them. So when I clean up my closet, which I still need to do, they will be changing to those. And then I have some cleaners that I made up myself in those little bottles there with some essential oils. And there's my pineapple, because Pikachu, my lovely yellow kitty, likes to eat the tops of the pineapples. So we have to keep those in here so he cannot get to them until I cut them. Here is all my food. We have cereals and extra seasonings. My husband mixes his cereals, so he's got bags there. Then I've got like sauces and syrups and honey up here, salsa, taco sauce, enchilada sauce, ketchup. These are my muffin mixes. This first basket here has blueberry, and this basket has a mixture of chocolate chip and lemon poppy seed and strawberry. Then I've got my rices and side dishes here, and I'm trying to get rid of my potato flakes. I only have a little bit left because I want to use real potatoes, but it's kind of nice in a pinch to be able to whip up some mashed potatoes. There's some stuffing mixes, a few hamburger helpers. I'm trying to get away from those because of the additives. My daughter loves to use the Easy Mac macaroni and cheese, so that's there. There's all my pasta, and you'll see one of the boxes I just got, I just put up here. I just got some quinoa from Aldi yesterday. I've never had it, and I think it sounds really, really good. There's some more pasta. I've got some canned chicken breast for chicken salad. I have some things for making my sweet and sour chicken. I've got my canned mushrooms and my water chestnuts. Yes. Then up here, I have crackers and chips, so snacky things. And then I have a snack bucket, I guess, that has just a random, like, little graham cracker things and, I don't know, trail mixes and cookies. And I love these pretzel chips. They're my favorite things ever. These pretzel crisps, the garlic parmesan, are the bestest. But I also have these, which are the everything. They're so, so good. So that's something I like to snack on. On the very top, I have like entertaining things. So serving dishes, cupcake stands, salad bowls, all of my paper goods for parties and things all the way across. I also have my good china, which I hardly ever use. Things to transport to parties. That green thing on the very top right there
holds cupcakes. It's really cool. You can hold 2 dozen cupcakes in it and they don't not smush. I also have hot cocoa mixes up there. Seasonal wraps, like holiday wraps for things. Extra cereal, a coffee maker, a grilling thing, some more deli trays, and another serving bowl, a carving knife, and some just random stuff. And then down here, I've got tons and tons of canned goods. I just went to Aldi on Saturday and got flats of vegetables, so I'm good for a while. I've got refried beans and corn and lots of tomato sauce, and there's my pans for making freezer meals. And I've got some chili beans and black beans and some cream corn and mushrooms and tomato paste. There's a gift one of my students gave me for Christmas. I've got some like ice cream toppings back here and some like hot chocolate type things back here. Different types of hot chocolate and special marshmallows and things back there. This is where I'm keeping my onions and garlic and scallions, because they are not actually supposed to be kept in the refrigerator. Who knew? So I've been researching how to store food the best too. They are supposed to be kept in a cool, dry, dark place. So there we go, in an area where it can get air to it. There's some soups. I'm trying to get away from the cream of soups because of all the additives and all the salt. So I'm going to be making my own. I've got some gravies, another thing I want to use up and make my own. And then here's some more canned goods that I was using on before I got the flats of them. So just some beans and refried beans and sauce and things to make chili and enchiladas and burritos and things like that. Down here I have some canned fruit and my extra Trivia for what I use in my tea. Some more drink things. Applesauce and fruit cups for lunches, breadcrumbs and panko, pickles, some more canned goods. And then just some random like snacky things down here like animal crackers and, oh, there's some snack crackers that fell down. I just knocked the other one down. Lovely. There we go. Some graham crackers. There's my crock pot, one of them. I just got a new one. And my George Foreman grill, which I love because then you can have grilled burgers, chicken, pork chops, whatever, anytime you want. It takes like 5 minutes. There's my big thing of peanut butter, my jellies. There's some random like syrups, like corn syrup and vinegar and some nuts back there. There's my jasmine rice, some more of my storage pans for when I freeze things. This is the baking area, so you can see I've got extra like evaporated milk, jello, sugar, flour, pie crust, also pie filling. Down here I just have things that wouldn't fit somewhere else. I love these little snack mixes here. Those are so good. And then I've got another one here. This is some nacho cheese sauce that is good for in a pinch. These are some little oatmeal cups from my daughter. Candy canes, because we need those in July. I'm going to try using steel cut oats because they're supposed to be healthier, better for you. And then I just have some like storage things in here, like extra knives that I don't need all the time. This is going to be for a recipe. So I got a giant box, you can see, right by my cereal. Here's where I keep all my bread so that I can see what we have. We've got English muffins and bagels and Hawaiian bread. This is the bestest ever. Sandwich bread of different kinds. My daughter likes wheat bread. My husband likes pumpernickel, and I like sourdough, so we have all those kinds in there. And then here I have all my croutons and pizza crust mix, which I started making my own, but this will be great in a pinch if I don't have some made up in the freezer. Pancake and waffle mix, because it doesn't have anything bad in it. It's just pre-measured ingredients, which is great. Corn muffin mix, biscuit mix. These are so good. These Red Lobster cheddar biscuits, so good. So good. Don't take very long to make. Some more pizza crust mix from, I want to say this is from Tastefully Simple. And then I've got all of my boxed brownie mixes and cake mixes and things for when I'm in a hurry and I want to throw a dessert together for something at school or a potluck or whatever. And I've got some just other little special bread mixes here for special things. Then more baking things, powdered sugar, coconut, bread flour, melting wafers, things for cookies. And then down here I have my potatoes. I just found out you're not supposed to keep your potatoes in the bag. I just got these red potatoes yesterday, so I need to do something with them. There's our distilled water for the Keurig. There's my new crock pot that has a little countdown, not really a, well, kind of like a timer. Once it gets to the end of the cooking cycle, it immediately goes to warm, which is great for meals that are going to cook less time than you will be away. So for example, if I put stuff on at 7 in the morning and I'm not going to be home till 6 in the evening, and it only needs to cook for 6 hours, after 6 hours of cooking, it will switch automatically to warm, and it will keep it warm until I turn it off. There's my bread maker that makes amazing bread. So yummy. And down here I have some drinks. My daughter likes cream soda and high C fruit punch things. And there's bottled water down here, and then my stool so I can reach things because I'm short. So then you just open this door here from the pantry and you're inside the house. So it makes it very convenient when you go shopping. You can just come straight through the garage into the pantry, put the dry goods away, then come into the kitchen and put everything else away. I just wanted to show you one of the giant packages of chicken that I got at Aldi yesterday. They had them on special for $1.69 a pound. Every week they have one of or two of their meat products for a very special low price, and this was this week's special. You can see there are 4 breasts in this package. This is a 5-pound package. So that means each breast is over a pound, which is, I mean, look how big these things are. So I'm going to cut them up on my meat cutting board. It's a silicone one that you can bend. And then I'll show you what I did. I'll just show you just, I mean, look how gigantic this chicken breast is compared to my hand. It's huge. Now, I will trim off any excess fat. And this stuff right here, I will trim it off. And look, see how thick it is? I will probably butterfly it so that it works better. And I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, here's what that one breast looks like butterflied. I didn't do a perfect job, but that will be fine for when I throw it in one of the freezer meals. Okay, this first recipe actually calls for chicken tenders, and I never ever buy chicken tenders. So I've just sliced them in strips because really you're just gonna throw them in the crock pot and shred the chicken anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This will just help it cook faster. I've already labeled my freezer bag with the name of the meal, honey sesame chicken, and the month that I made it. And I've got the cooking directions. This is a crock pot meal, so you just throw it in the freezer, take it out. You can defrost it the night before, or if you want extra cooking time like me, because it only cooks for 4 to 5 hours, and I will be gone at least 7 or 8 hours, I would prefer that it cook a little longer anyway. So I'm going to leave mine frozen and just dump it in the morning before I leave. So then this would probably cook 6 or 7 hours frozen, and it will be perfect when I get home from school. It's very, very simple. You just dump everything in the bag, all the ingredients, put it in the freezer. Then when you want to use it, pull it out of the freezer in the morning, dump it in your crock pot, turn it on low, walk away, come home to a home cooked meal. I call my crock pot my wife because it does a lot of the cooking for me. Okay, here's a trick that I saw on several different cooking channels. When you're loading your freezer bags, put your bag down into an empty pitcher or a big bowl, and then you won't have the mishap that I just had when I forgot about this. So I'm going to put the rest of my honey in here. I have about 3/4 of a cup. The recipe calls for a cup. I'm not a huge fan of honey, so I think this will be enough for this little amount of chicken. But please feel free to do it like the recipe says. But this was the end of my honey bear. You can see my honey bear is pretty much empty here, so I just went with what I had. There's the cup of honey. Next we need 3 tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2, 3. Sesame seeds. Here's 1. And that's the whole container. That'll be good. And of course they stuck to my oil, but you know, that's okay. Get those out of there. All right, and then we need a 1/2 cup of soy sauce. Any brand that you like. You can do reduced sodium if you want to. Pour it in here and put it in my bag. It's a lot of soy sauce. You're not going to need a lot of salt for sure. Next we need a tablespoon of sesame oil. My goodness, this stuff is very expensive, so I only got a small bottle because I won't use it for a lot of things, but it smells very good. It smells like sesame. Okay, tablespoon of that. And then we need a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. teaspoon out. Here's my salt. I go just a little bit less since the soy sauce is very salty. I'm gonna do about 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt. We can always salt more, but you can't take it out. And then my husband loves pepper, so I'll go ahead and do the full teaspoon of pepper in there. All right, and then our chicken. Throw that in there. Let me get this out of there. Okay, now I want to go wash my hands because I just touched chicken. I'll be right back. Then you just pull it out of your container. I'm gonna zip it up a little bit. I'm gonna zip it across, let a little of the air out. Then I'm gonna squish it together just to kind of mix everything. See all the sesame seeds sticking to the bag. Just squish it. It's gonna marinate in here. The great thing about dumping your meals into freezer bags is after they're frozen, you know, when you take them out and defrost them, or when they're cooking, they're going to continue marinating, and this is going to bake into or cook into the food. There's that. So then I'll just make sure that I get the extra air out. Push the air out as much as you can. Zip it closed, because the less air, the better. Okay, and it's ready to go to the freezer. This is a freezer meal I stuck together the other day before I thought about filming it for you. This is for honey lime chicken. And what you'll need, if you want 2 pounds of chicken, these will be the ingredient measurements, but what I did was half. So you can also do it with half of it because it works out perfectly. So for 2 pounds of chicken, you need 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 4 tablespoons of lime juice, 4 tablespoons of honey, a half bunch of cilantro leaves chopped, 3 cloves of garlic minced or put through a press, and a half teaspoon of salt, or however you like it. And this came from Jennifer at the Family Fudge, and she has lots of awesome freezer meals and cook ahead meals and casserole meals. So if you're interested in more things, please check her out. She has 4 children and she homeschools 3 of them. One of them is not quite in school, but she does some type of a school with them. So she has 4 children ages 7 to a baby. So she's very busy. So she tries to plan ahead too. So here's another idea for your getting back to school. All right, this next recipe is for Hawaiian chicken. I don't know if you're noticing a theme, but we kind of like sweet and sour type chicken things, and we're more of chicken eaters than beef eaters. So I'll have a lot more chicken recipes than beef recipes, but I will have beef recipes coming up too. So for this recipe, you will need 6 boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs. I've never tried thighs, so if you try thighs, let me know how it goes. 1/2 cup ketchup, 1 teaspoon Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon mustard, 1/2 cup crushed pineapple with juice, 1/2 cup brown sugar. So I'm going to put this in my handy dandy pitcher, so hopefully I don't get this everywhere when I'm dumping the ingredients in. Okay, just flipped around here. Okay, I'm going to see if I can dump my chicken into the container rather than onto the counter, and I don't think it's gonna work. So I'm just gonna plop my chicken. Now these were those giant chicken breasts, so I actually cut them in half lengthways. So I'm just gonna stuff them down in there. I just have 3 giant chicken breasts. I probably don't even need this much, but this will make great leftovers. So I've got that in there. That really filled that up. Okay. And I have a trash bag down here because that is very handy to have. Okay, so there's my chicken. It took almost the whole thing. To that, you're going to add a 1/2 cup ketchup. And I've got kitties that are very interested in what I am doing for sure. Okay, then I need 1 teaspoon. I need to go wash my hands, hang on. Okay, so we have the chicken and the ketchup. Now we're going to add a teaspoon of mustard, maybe. Goodness, this is very full, it just wasn't coming out. Okay, a teaspoon of mustard, a teaspoon of Worcestershire, half cup of crushed pineapple with the juice, and a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. All right, I'm gonna take the bag out here.
very carefully because it's very full until I get it out. All right, you'll see it's all kind of mushed in there. I'm just kind of mushed together a little bit. You don't have to. I just like to kind of squish the ingredients together a little more. Oh, and I didn't tell you before, a tip, when you're measuring something sticky, like honey, spray it with nonstick spray first in your measuring cup or your measuring glass. It makes it come out so much easier. Okay, and I also have been putting serve with rice so that when I take this out, I know that I need rice. So I don't go, oh poo, it's done, I don't have rice made. And usually when I make rice, I'll make several servings up at a time. Onyx is playing with the trash bag. And then I can just put it in the freezer and just pop it out when I need it. It's pretty handy. So we'll just zip this bag up with the air out. And another night of cooking done. Okay, the next meal that I'm going to put together is sticky bourbon chicken with rice. Now, I am not a drinker. I would put bourbon in my recipe if it weren't so stinking expensive because it is whiskey and it's about $30 a bottle. So no thank you. So I looked up substitutions for bourbon and I came up with vanilla, which I will do. So that's what we're using in place of bourbon. By all means, if you have bourbon, please put it in there. It will probably taste better. But that is one of the only things I really like if we ever go to Golden Corral is their bourbon chicken. I love it. So I thought, hey, let's make one of those. So for this, you will need 1.5 pounds of chicken breast or thighs. I like breast better, but you can use thighs. This is one of those ginormous chicken breasts and it was almost 2 pounds. So I stuck it in there. By the way, I sprayed this with nonstick spray first. That's why the chicken's sliding all over. But spray your pan first so it doesn't stick when you bake. And then lay your chicken in the bottom. Then you're going to need 1/2 cup of soy sauce. You just pour it over the top of your chicken, like so. Then you need a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using olive oil. Like so. Then you need a 1/4 cup of vinegar. I get the monster bottles because I make my own cleaning solutions too. So that's why I have a giant bottle of vinegar. Make sure that's right. I need a little bit more. 1/4 cup of vinegar. Pour that in there. Okay, then we need a 1/4 cup of vanilla. That's a lot of vanilla, but okay. Better that than the alcohol that I do not want to buy. Okay, 1/4 cup of vanilla. Smells really good. Pour that over to make a wonderful marinade. Then a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'll just put that into the, sprinkle that into the juices here so I can kind of melt there. And 4 cloves of garlic. I have this awesome garlic press from Pampered Chef. When I used to be a consultant, I got all of the awesome tools. So we'll just put that in the sauce as well. I'll just use this to scrape it off. Okay, that's the last of my 4 cloves. Kind of get them down in the sauce. I think I'll just kind of mix that around a little bit. You don't have to, of course. I'm kind of dissolving the sugar a bit. I'm mixing around the garlic a little bit. Okay, so then you've got this saucy mixture. So when you put it in your freezer, make sure it lays flat so that it can freeze without making a giant disaster of your freezer. So then you're just gonna cover that with plastic wrap and then foil, and then you can write your baking directions on top of it. And you will want to defrost this in the refrigerator the night before so that all of your marinade will be liquid when you bake it. All right, and then it won't take as long to bake because frozen chicken will take much longer than thawed chicken. So there you go. One more freezer meal down. Here's what mine looks like packaged. I got off center a little bit because I wrote this on the foil before I put it on the package because I didn't want to poke through. But I have plastic wrap on first and I pushed it down on top of the chicken and stuff a little bit before I put the foil on, but it says sticky bourbon chicken, thaw overnight, bake at 350, 45 minutes, turning chicken halfway. So I'm just reminding myself to flip the chicken part way through the baking process so that both sides get the sauce and things absorb into the chicken. Something else that I like to do when I've got these big packages of chicken, I always divide them out and put them in either freezer bags, or now that I have my vacuum sealer, I've been vacuum sealing my chicken because it keeps it from being freezer burned, and it's supposed to help it last over a year in the freezer, which I think is amazing. I like to take some of it, if I know I'm going to make burritos or tacos or sweet and sour chicken or chicken Alfredo, I'll go ahead and cut the chicken up into pieces so that it's already done. So I'll slice it up. Right now I've got little chunks. I don't know if you can see that very well. Back of the camera just a little bit. Okay. And then I'll kind of cube it. You want bite-sized pieces. And some of these are really thick, so I'm going to have to go back through and cut it the other way. But this can go into one of those vacuum seal bags or a freezer bag. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, that's okay. And then you can throw it in the freezer the night before you're going to make one of your quick weeknight meals. Just take it out and let it defrost. And then the cutting is done. Personally, when I make any of those meals that I mentioned before, the thing that takes me the longest is cutting up the dang chicken. Now, normally when I do it on a weeknight, I use kitchen scissors because I think it's pretty fast. But sometimes you're just not in the mood. So let me cut these up a little smaller because we want bite-sized piece of chicken. And chicken doesn't really cook down very much like hamburger. So pretty much what you've got right now is what you're going to have when you cook it, for the most part. So I want, you know, smaller pieces than some of these because this was a very big chicken breast. Now this one was about 1 pound, so this will be perfect for my burrito, you know, taco meat chicken, or for chicken Alfredo. It's just the right amount. I may have mentioned it in a blog before, or a vlog or something, that my daughter is a vegetarian. So any of this meat stuff that I'm making, she will not eat. Now when I make chicken Alfredo, she will just take the chicken out of it. And I will show you how I make that. That's just a package of chicken here. Well, not package, 1 pound of chicken. And cook it up. And then Alfredo sauce. And then we like to use the bow tie noodles. Farfalle, I believe they're called. But yeah, because they stick together really well, and they're fast. You can use fettuccine, of course, if you want to, but I feel like fettuccine is a little more finicky as far as the cooking time goes. And so if I get a little distracted while I'm cooking because it's after school and I'm tired or whatever, then it's not quite as forgiving as the farfalle is, the bow tie pasta. So we tend to use a lot of the bow tie noodles, or penne pasta would be really, really good too, which I'm pretty sure that's what came from my Walmart order earlier. Penne pasta, so that's always a good one. It's easy to poke with a fork. You don't have messy noodles flying all over your face either. Okay, so there's another pound of chicken ready to put in the vacuum sealer. So I can kind of push this to the side a little more because this puppy is a 2-pounder. So he's going to be for my sweet and sour chicken recipe. And I'll show you that one sometime too. I was thinking that I would make some of my, cut my finger off, that would be fun to watch. I would make some of my go-to weeknight meals that are like around 30 minutes, maybe 40. But see, we're skipping some of the prep time here because we're cutting things up ahead of time. So that will take a lot of the prep work out of it, which will in turn make it take less time to get to the table for your hungry little peoples. There are only 3 of us in our family, my husband, myself, and my daughter. And like I said, she doesn't eat the meat, but she'll eat the vegetables and things out of a stir fry or out of a pasta dish. And like if I'm making, say, you know, spaghetti meatballs, she just will dig the meatballs out and give them to her father. Because I have 3 very distinct eaters in my family. My daughter's a vegetarian, so she eats no meat. My husband is a definite not vegetarian. He basically eats only meat, and then there's me that will eat both.
So we have an herbivore, a carnivore, and an omnivore in our family, and that makes my life kind of tricky when it comes to cooking, because it's hard to, I'm like, I don't want to make 3 different meals. I don't really want to make 2 different meals. Sometimes I don't even want to make 1 meal, to be honest. That's why I'm doing some of this ahead of time. Actually, I really do enjoy cooking when I'm off school. But during school, it's just one more thing to do. And by the end of the day, honestly, chasing around those little people, trying to pack some knowledge into their little heads, it can be exhausting. And the last thing you want to do is come home and work more. So this will make things a lot easier. So this will be 1 package in the vacuum sealer bag. This will be 1 package, and this will be 1 package. And that's 3 meals worth of chicken, cut up, done. So you'll have no mess. Look at all this mess that I'm going to avoid later. And I've got 2 of my 4 packages of chicken taken care of. Okay, I've cut up the last 2 packages of chicken right here. Some of them I've just cut in half, and many of them I have butterflied because they were very, very thick. I have trimmed a lot of the extra fat and things off from them. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to put these in the refrigerator while I get the vacuum sealing bags ready. For any of you that might have been concerned about the fact that I have 4 cats and the cats like to jump on things, this is always by me when I'm cooking, and they're not allowed on the countertops anywhere in this kitchen. When I'm cooking, they get sprayed. So they learn very quickly to stay back. When I say get back, they're like, because they do not like to be wet. So I'm training them. Sometimes they listen really well. Sometimes they have to be motivated. But they are not allowed on the countertops when I'm cooking or when there is any food out at all. So they are learning slowly. Some of them takes a little more because they're more stubborn. But we're getting there. Plus I'm a big proponent of clean, clean. I worked in a pizza place for like 6 years. And so I know all about food safety and all of that. So my countertops get scoured down every time I have anything to do with food. Food never stays out very long. My chicken is in the refrigerator while I'm getting my bags sealed to freeze them up, and I'll bring a little bit out at a time because you don't want a big, massive amount of meat sitting there for any amount of time that doesn't have to be. So just in case you were wondering or concerned, I know there was one video I watched where there was a lady that had a cat and she was showing all of the groceries she had bought, and she had a couple, get down, see there's one right there. She had a couple of packages of ground meat that were still sealed, and her cat got up on the counter, of course, curious, and was sniffing it and possibly licked the package. I don't know. I didn't notice it because I have cats and they just do that. But she got so many hateful, negative comments, and that's all they focused on for the entire video was the fact that her cat was on the counter with the food. That's all they thought of the entire video, even though her video was wonderful. It showed her grocery haul and the things that she made for freezer cooking, and it showed her kids. But that's the only thing that they talked about was the cat issue. And it just, everybody in the comments, there were so many comments. And people were just like fighting amongst themselves in the comments. And she just basically stayed out of it and said, I know my cat was on the counter, naughty kitty. You know, normally they don't do that. I spray them, blah, blah, blah. So just in case you were concerned about cats getting on the counter with my food, that skeeves me out too. I can't handle it. When I'm cooking at the stove over here, I have my spray bottle handy. When I'm over at the sink, I have my spray bottle handy. And anytime that I have food out for supper or whatever, they are not allowed on the table or the counter. Now through the day, they do what they want because we're not here, but I clean everything before I use it. So we go through lots and lots and lots of Clorox wipes and bleach. So everything's really, really clean. So just wanted to let you know about that. Now I'm gonna go make my bags over here with my vacuum sealer. I've got my crushed pineapple that I'm going to put in a bag and seal it up and put it in the freezer so I can use it for another meal. And I will talk to you later. Hey there. I just got done vacuum sealing all the rest of my chicken, and I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4. I can count 6 bags of chicken at different weights. So I have a 1 pound package. I have 2 1.5 pound packages. I have 2 2 pound packages and 1 2 1/4 pound packages. So I've got a variety of amounts of chicken that I can use for recipes later. This package will be perfect for, if I just, can you see the seal right there? Okay, just zip this open with a pair of scissors. Throw in some Italian dressing, just like bottled Italian dressing that you put on a salad, and let it marinate. Or you can even just take it out frozen when you get home
Throw it in like an 8x8 baking dish or even like a bread pan because it's only 2 little small breasts. Throw the marinade in there, maybe a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, smush it around a little bit, cover it with foil, bake it for about 45 minutes, check it, make sure it's done. Have a meat thermometer, it should be 165 in the middle. And you've got baked marinated chicken. It's so yummy. Throw some green beans in with it, some steamed broccoli, some rice pilaf, something like that, and you have a great meal. Or before you put it in the refrigerator to defrost, zip it open a little bit, throw the dressing in there, make sure you set it inside something so it doesn't spill all over your refrigerator. Then the next day, you could grill it. If you have one of those indoor grills like I showed you in my pantry, a George Foreman, that would be awesome. You could fire up your barbecue grill if you want to. Probably wouldn't be worth it for 2 little chicken breasts. You could pan fry it. Be super easy and super fast and yummy. Okay, let me take you and show you my freezer and we will see what it looks like. All right, here is the inside of my freezer. It's an upright. It's not a new one by any stretch. It was used when my parents got it and then we bought it from them and we've had it for a long time. We just cleaned it out. It's amazing now. This is that Hawaiian chicken that we made earlier together. I don't know if you can see very well because of the light. I've got the chicken back here standing up, and if you were wondering why I kept writing chicken on all the bags, it's because we do have pork chops in here too. And in the bleary-eyed early morning time when I'm probably going to be throwing these things in the refrigerator, or possibly the night before when I'm super tired, I don't want to try to guess what meat is in what, so I just label everything. So I just stood all of those chicken packages up in here. We do have some vegetarian meals for Caitlin, my daughter, in case she doesn't want to try to pick out the meat, which I don't blame her. But she's got some yummy stuff from Target. And then here I've got that pan of bourbon chicken that I stuck in here. And we have some little quick things in case I just don't feel like messing with anything or I totally forgot, because you know that never happens. I've got some 4 cheese ravioli. When I buy at the freezer things, I try to buy just cheesy things so I don't have to worry about Caitlin not having something to eat. I've got a bag of meatballs down here somewhere. I've got some chicken fried rice I can throw together, which is not vegetarian, of course, but she has vegetable fried rice. Here's the meatballs I was talking about. And I'm going to be making up some homemade meatballs too. Oh my goodness, I made the best Swedish meatball recipe the other day, and I will share it with you because it was amazing. And none of these recipes that I've shared with you thus far are my own at all. I have found them mostly on Pinterest by just searching freezer meals or crockpot meals or make-ahead meals or casseroles. So anyway, all my chicken that I just did is up here, you can see with this bad lighting. And then down here, this is not an advertisement for Zaycon Fresh by any stretch, but you see all this, some of this is other stuff, chicken that I did earlier, but all of this from here, I don't think you can see with the light here, all of this stuff here, all of it is 40 pounds of 93% lean hamburger from Zaycon Fresh. Let me close the door here. Okay, so as I was saying, Zaycon Fresh. We went a week ago Saturday, because today's Friday, so it was about a week ago, to a pickup point, which was half an hour away, not too bad, and picked up our first order of Zaycon Fresh. Oh my goodness, amazing. The prices you cannot beat, and the quality is much better than you can get in most grocery stores, unless you're buying the very expensive organic, and then you're not getting the price that I was getting. So they have just about any meat you would want. If you go to zayconfresh.com, I'll put a link below if you want to check it out. I highly recommend them. We've eaten some of the hamburger already. I've made those meatballs with it, and I made some hamburgers and something else. Oh, sloppy joes. And I'll link that recipe when I make it for you, because it's another recipe from Jennifer from the family Fudge. And I already commented on the video that she showed it on how amazingly delicious it was. We even had my daughter's boyfriend over that night, and I didn't know this at the time, poor guy. We had the sloppy joe things, and we had corn on the cob, and then something else, and then we had dessert. And I found out later that he didn't like corn or mushrooms, but he liked mine. And I'm like, oh, but he was too polite to say anything, of course. I forgot to show you my lovely new faucet. The other one was shooting like a fountain out the back and getting the whole back of the sink wet. And our builder did not seal the sink for some strange reason. And so it was running down underneath the sink and getting everything wet under here. And it messed up the wood a little bit. So not happy about that.
but we did catch it pretty quickly. And I love, it's got such a long neck that I can fill my pots and not bang into anything. Like here when I'm rinsing things, it doesn't whack into things. And when I'm washing my hands, I don't splatter the back of anything. So there it is. Love it. Love it. The sprayer actually works. It's not clogged up with lime. So that's awesome. So very cool. Wanted to share that with you. There it is. I'm just resting on the couch now after all that chicken prep. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the freezer meals that I put together as preparation for back to school time, because very, very soon, probably next week, I'll be heading into my classroom to get it whipped into shape. And very quickly after that, we'll be back in school with kiddos and the crazy will begin again. So now's the time to start thinking about helping yourself out later. Thank you for watching some of the things that I do to get ready for back to school. If you liked what you saw, please like and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have some great ideas for freezer meals or things to help other people get ready for back to school, please share, because that will help all of us out. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.